everybody, and welcome to the Right Reality Podcast. My name is Mixie.
And my name is Steven. This is episode 10 of All-Star Shore. This is a case for the FBI.
This is a case for the FBI. An absolute treat this episode was. I mean, you can't write this shit. And again, that's why we love this show. The whole premise of this episode was somebody used Javi's toothbrush to pleasure themselves in the shower.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Watch out. Watch out.
You're
Watch
right.
out.
You're right. Allegedly.
Not getting sued out of the gate here 1 minute in to the number one.
Like I said, you can't write it. You can't come up with it. It's just the pure, absolute bliss that All-Star Shore continues to deliver to us. Steven, what did you think of this episode?
I mean, it's an episode of All-Star Shore, so obviously I loved it. Tremendous amounts of enjoyment was had by me, was clearly had by you, had by everybody watching this show. It just continues to deliver the whole FBI angle of him trying to figure out who may or may not have used the toothbrush as a vibrator. And when they found out, they were like, his toothbrush. And he's like, it's a vibrating toothbrush. And they're like, oh, well, now this just opens up possibilities left and right for everybody.
Absolute gold. I watched the episode before Steven did, and I went to work next day, and I was like, sit here, you're watching this clip right now. I had to show him Marnie and Issa with Javi figuring out that somebody had used his toothbrush. Just absolutely amazing.
Allegedly.
There was some great clips as well throughout this entire thing. I mean, just, again, an enjoyable watch. So let's get into it. We finished the last episode with Marnie and Guy winning the Paradise game, and now it is up to everyone to try to get into the last Paradise reward and enjoy the last one before everything ends.
It's a massage. They're going to get a massage.
Yes. I guess we can talk about that now. How do you feel about massages?
Great question. I was going to ask you about that.
Oh, okay.
I'm not a great massage taker, if that's the correct terminology.
Okay.
For two reasons. One, the last time I went, they always do more pressure than I like. Mm-hmm. Just generally.
Yeah.
Last time I went, they were working on my lower back. I was like, that's a little, let's move on from there, right? Mm-hmm. And at a certain point, they're like, okay, you can turn over. Well, I couldn't turn over because where they had massaged my back had completely locked up to the point where I was motionless on the table.
Oh, no.
Motionless on the table. I was flipping over. I finally got over it. I was like, that kind of hurts. And then when the massage is done, they're like, okay, we'll let you, change and get ready. The guy comes back in 5 minutes later because I hadn't come out of the room.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can't get up. Like my entire, I felt like I was 90 years old. It was locked solid.
That is
solid.
Awful.
And so they're like, we'll give you more time. I was like, it'll loosen up. It was like it had cramped and it had just closed up. Severe pain trying to move.
Oh.
It was horrific. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. And so it wasn't going away. So I texted my chiropractor. I was like, any advice?
That's wild.
And he's like, maybe get some like hot towels on the back and maybe that will help relax the muscles. And sure enough, they came with like every hot towel in the place they had. And after like another 20 minutes, it had loosened up to a point where I could at least like walk to the car. It was horrific. I barely could drive home. My old roommate had to come like help me out of the car.
Oh my God.
We got home. It was like middle of summer. I got the heating blanket out of my bedroom and like wedged it behind my back and turned it on full whack.
Oh my God.
It was horrific. And I have now not got one since. And that was
I don't blame you.
4 years ago now. But before that, I kind of liked them. I don't know about you, but when I'm laying there, I just like envision like a top-down camera, like looking down at myself getting massaged, and the lady just being like, am I making sloppy joes for dinner tonight? As she's like, that's what I'm thinking in my head. I'm not able to like relax and let my brain go blank.
Yeah, I hate them. I have never gotten a professional massage ever. It does not sound relaxing to me. I would be in my head the entire time.
That's where I'm at.
Just absolutely no. I don't even really like massages from like a significant other or friend. Like I am not this might shock people. I am not a touchy-feely person. So
one of your love languages not physical touch?
It's not. And I just really hate it. And there's people like, I'll be at work and somebody will come up and start rubbing my shoulders. They're like, gosh, you're really tense.
Not
like,
me.
No, not Steven.
Me.
A female.
Not me.
A female. Now, did I consent? No. But that's a different story.
Big thing.
I hate it. I hate it. I feel like I tense up more because somebody is touching me. I absolutely hate it. I've never understood it. I've gotten facials before, and I don't know if you've gotten a facial, but they like start doing your shoulders and your arms, and I'm like, please do not touch me. My face is up here, you know?
It was very nice. Mm-hmm. I recently, 2 Christmases ago, me and Ma LaFranc, she took me to get my first ever pedicure. Oh,
pedicures are great.
That was great. They like massage your calves and your feet.
Well, I tell them not to do that. I'm just like, clean my foot.
That's clean my foot.
Clean it.
Hey, you stay down there and clean my foot.
No, I respect them and the work that they're doing. They're great people. But no, I absolutely hate massages. When I get manicures and they do the hand thing, I'm just like,
oh, you don't like that either?
I hate it. Oh, I don't like people that I do not know touching my body. And even people I do know, I typically don't like that either. I'm just out. Not my thing. Okay.
That's not your thing. Everybody listening right now is like, you guys are 2 weirdos. Oh, well, you're listening to this for a reason. So
Tamaris and Vinny wanted it. They were fighting for it bad.
Yeah.
I don't know in what world they thought they were going to get it. They did have, I guess, a bit of a caveat of being like, we took you on the first one.
Yeah. Good strategy. It's never going to happen.
I credit All Star Shore for trying. Who they were taking on the reward and who they were putting into the exile game could not have been more obvious. And man, did they try to act like it wasn't going to be the people we knew it was going to be.
Bravo.
Yeah.
Bravo, though. Bravo. They just like throw a little smoke and mirrors and like try to get you to forget that all these other things are happening. You're like, oh yeah, they did take them first. Oh, that would be who are the other people? Oh, they're bang. Oh yeah. Never mind. Yeah. No chance.
It wasn't going to happen. I mean, I can't believe that they took them on the first Paradise Reward. I had to pause and think back to that. I was like, God, how many months ago was that?
I wish we had All Star Shore as much as we have the challenge. There, I said it.
And he speaks facts.
Or maybe this is why I like it better.
Honestly, probably.
Because I don't get it all the time.
Yeah.
I don't get it all the time. Guaranteed, Tamaris is one of those people who was yelling at us about not liking a massage. There's no doubt in my mind, Tamaris loves a massage.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, I feel like all of them do. I get it to a certain extent. I can't get out of my own head about it. It just will never be able to do it. They all were kind of rallying for Issa to go on the Paradise Reward because she had not received a Paradise Reward, which made me sad. But then Vinny made a very good point. And he said her night with Guy was kind of like a Paradise Reward.
You know what? Vinny speaks the truth. Morning Vinny is my favorite Vinny. He's trying to get her to the reward and then comes to the conclusion, she got, a little dick down at the beginning of the season. So, that's a reward,
I agree.
He's just so smart. He's just so smart. He got it. He really did get it.
Well, in a shocking turn of events to no one, they did pick Chantel and Spanky, and they went out and got their massage. Now, we did get an incredible dive bomb of Spanky jumping on the table.
Which I didn't get.
I think that he just had his Spanky out, and he wanted to lay down quickly without it being shown, but there was a jump involved. I'm not entirely sure.
Then you sit on the table facing away from the camera.
But then he's still got to go down.
Jumping and laying on your dick is probably not the best solution there. That could hurt.
I'm probably wrong. Didn't he literally just skinny dip the episode before?
See, this is what I'm saying. I mean, there was probably way more alcohol involved at that point, but I don't think he's the one trying to protect his modesty at all points during this show,
No, maybe it was just for a laugh because the lady in the background, I don't know if you saw her.
Maybe that's what it was.
Her face was just like, what the fuck?
She's like, I've seen so many foreigner penises in this room, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I did like the moment Chase is hanging out with Vinny, and he asked about the origins of GTL.
Yes, I loved that part. This is all back at the house now. I wanted to get into that. Yeah, I loved learning about this. I am curious if it's true. I would like to hear from Paulie and Mike, because I could see all of them saying that they started it. I could see Ronnie saying it. Like, to be honest, I could see all Snooki be like, no, actually, I said it. That just seems like their vibe. No shade, no hate.
I want like an oral history of that moment. Like, give me an oral history.
Release the footage. I know they have it.
Think they still have all that old footage somewhere?
Oh, 100% that shit's backed up. That was like reality gold.
Yeah, that's on a tape. But like all the cameras are probably not on a tape, I don't think. I don't know. Maybe they do.
I don't know. We'll have to send a message. There are a few other things that happened at the house that I want to get into. Okay. Chase is sad because he lost. This whole Chase being sad because he loses thing is really starting to get old to me. You are a grown-ass man. And you also state later that you don't even care about the money. You just want the bragging rights. Like, be an adult, sir, and lose like a champion.
Take the money.
Well, that too.
What if there was like $200,000 for coming in second place? You would tell me you would just turn down the money?
I guess, according to him, he would, which he wouldn't. But then we get Melinda getting into the dino outfit to, quote, make Chase feel better. So that was all for attention, correct?
I mean, why did you ask me that question? It's kind of, you doing this for attention? I mean, Jesus.
Fabio sees it too, and I'm loving my Fabio here. He says, with Melinda, I feel like she does everything to get a reaction.
Fabio, welcome to the show. It only took you to episode 10 to figure all this stuff out, my guy. Well, welcome. Thanks for joining us, buddy. You're now part of this great television show that you're just now coming to the realization of all these things on. I did also love Javi, like sitting there, like Chase is trying to eat his breakfast first thing, and he's like, so blah 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 blah, and he's like trying to get at him. He's like, are you sad? Are you upset? And Chase is like, you guys are just the worst. Like trying to like laugh, like you guys are the worst. And in his head, he's screaming, I'm gonna punch you in the fucking face unless you get away from me.
Yeah, and it only gets worse throughout this episode for Chase, to be honest with you. This guy just keeps taking a beating, which I wasn't upset about. We then get into Javi discovering the toothbrush. Now, for those of you that are not watching this show, I don't know how many times we have to tell you, watch the show. But if you're not, Javi finds his toothbrush in the shower. He is very sure that he never took his toothbrush to the shower.
Which I believe is something that you would remember if you did. If you're not a toothbrush shower person like I've maybe one time ever in my entire life brushed my teeth in the shower.
That sounds disgusting to me. And I can't really tell you why, especially because I said that I would drink a drink with a fly in it and the toothbrush in the shower is getting me. But for some reason...
It's a really good point, actually.
I'll call myself out. I will.
That's a great point.
My brain doesn't work. It doesn't make sense to me, brushing your teeth in the shower. That's so disgusting.
Quick follow-up. Maybe your brain doesn't work because you've eaten a lot of flies that have been in your drinks.
But you know what? I never caused a scene at a restaurant. So. Noted. Who's winning? The flies. The flies are winning. So yeah, Javi finds his toothbrush in the shower. Then they kind of start discussing that somebody had to have been getting off on it. Now, he says his roommates are Marnie and Hati, or somebody. So. Is it Marnie now is immediately like, it's not me, but thinks it's fucking hilarious.
Which makes me love her just that much more, honestly.
Oh, absolutely incredible. So all attention goes to Hati, who also denies it.
Who wasn't there originally, right? She wasn't like in the vicinity when the conversation started going on.
Correct. Or when it was found. Yes.
Yeah, because now it's like, all these people are saying no, and you're just waiting as like, well, if they've all said no, he's gonna ask her.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I like how matter of fact he asked her too.
He said it was very funny the way he put it. I think he said something like, I have to be very careful on how I approach this.
Uh-huh.
And then she walks up and goes, hey, did you use my toothbrush as a vibrator?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Which, to me, he seems not careful at all.
It's not. But again, it's incredible.
So good.
We need to get... I was waiting for a shot of Hati grabbing the toothbrush.
Yes.
Obviously not expecting anything in the shower footage-wise. Yes. But man, did I need that. And they didn't give it to me. So
you know what that means?
Jumping.
They don't have it.
Well,
All-Star Shore would give that to us.
I agree.
If it was captured on camera.
But those cameras have to be going all the time, or at least like motion sensitive. Then they know somebody's in the room and they turn on. Well, she might have been naked. Maybe they can use it. I don't know.
I don't know. But it just makes me think they didn't have a shot of her like picking it up or something like that.
Yeah. But then, okay, so I'm just going to kind of get through this whole vibrator situation because it goes throughout the episode.
Yes.
They go to the hot tub, which we'll talk about in more detail later. But this is when Hati says that she thought about it. And then Snooki comes on and says that the case is solved. She never said she did it. And in my opinion, thinking about it does not make her guilty of doing it.
I'm really glad you brought this up because I thought long and hard about this. I conducted a seminar. I did some market research, obviously, because we're the number one here. And what this makes me think is there was a lot of conversation before that. She thought about it, right? So what makes me think is she took it in there with the thought of using it. And then before she used it, she goes, I can't do this. I just can't do this. This would be so awful if I did this. And then just left it in there. Maybe because there was other people back in the room at the time.
Yeah.
And she's like, I can't just like bring this back in if there's somebody now at the counter where the toothbrushes are, right?
All of this tracks. I see where you're going with this.
Thank you very much.
And I don't disagree.
Journalism.
But I just didn't like that Snooki's like, case closed. And I'm like, no, it's not. And then later we have a full blown, like Javi starts going off about it. And everyone is standing around and they like throw eggs and coffee at each other. There's a full blown food fight at this point because now she's upset because everybody's saying that she did it. And I don't blame her for that.
I think it was just the fact that everybody else flat out denied no. And she's like, I thought about it. Like, haha. I think that was her way of kind of being like, I was about to do it, but I didn't, you know, and everybody's accusing her, which, you know, I don't know. It's funny because later that leads to when Hati and Chantal are having like this argument back and forth.
Yeah.
She yells, she's like, you're just pissed off because you haven't got any dick? And that's why she was using the vibe. I'm like, God, this woman is just full of just like, she really knows how to cut you to the core. Just like, you just pissed off because you didn't get any dick? And I was like, well, I mean, I could see how that would be a thing.
All of that, I think, tracks and is totally, I think, valid for how she acts later in this episode.
Yeah.
But personally, obviously, I would like to state for the record, I would never and have never and it's never crossed my mind to use an electric toothbrush as a vibrator. But for me to be painted in that light on reality television is a little bit much, in my opinion. And I have a very high tolerance for fucking with people on reality TV.
So you're saying she did not get her due process in court?
I just don't like how the Snooki voiceover and the rest of the story after that was like she did it. Not like we think she did it. It was she did it.
There was no, they didn't pull a right reality and kept going, allegedly.
Yes, there was no allegedly. There was no, let's sit Hati down and have her tell her side of the story. If what you're saying is what happened, that should have aired.
I feel like there would have been a really good moment for them, and they was probably way too busy in the production calendar to do like a fake courtroom type thing, and they play it out. And
like at night?
Vinny is one of the like attorneys, right? He's like, Your Honor, let me just stay effectively for the court. There's no evidence to suggest my client even touched that toothbrush, right?
That would have been incredible. Honestly, and no hate to the Brazilian Carnival theme, would have beat the Brazilian Carnival theme.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't really get Carnival at all, but again, it is Brazilian, so maybe I just am an uneducated swine. Probably that. But that. I would have loved a court. You're so right. That would have been hilarious.
Your Honor, we might not be in the United States of America, but the things I know about our Constitution should be thought of in every country in the world.
While they're still at the Paradise Reward, Issa didn't get to go to Paradise Reward. She's not had it. She's also not gone to Sexile. So everybody decides they're going to go to Sexile with Issa.
Yay!
And I loved this whole thing. I was so happy for her. She was excited. They put bubbles in the hot tub. I'm like, this is a great ass time.
Yeah.
And up until this point, I was pretty sure Spanky was going to get the title again this week. But Javi, out of nowhere, gives us a full cheek show in the hot tub, becoming this week. Pass of the week. Pass of the week.
Man, I'm telling you, I just love all of these people. Like, they've been doing this for so long that they're just like, I don't give a shit. We're all getting in this hot tub together. We're all going to have a great time. We're all going to party. Because Issa started very strong in this house. She got banged the first night.
Yeah.
There was a whole thing about it. There was audio coming from left and right of her moaning, just getting it. And then ever since then, just like everything's gone down a cliff.
I agree with you. The partnership that she's with just isn't what's best for her.
No.
But you know what it is that first night she got banged and she said, I want everybody to get banged. I want everybody to feel this way. So she took that L the rest of the season so that she could pass that happiness on to other people. Because honestly, maybe if she didn't say that, she could have been continuously fucking Guy. I mean, who knows what other dick would have come her way? We won't ever know because she was so giving.
Yeah, it's one of those alternate timelines, right? Mm-hmm. In like history, you think of it like, oh, if she would have like been selfish, what could have happened to her? Right? If like she didn't pass the dick on, what could have happened in this show? Right? It could have been.
How would it have affected our lives later on? You know what I mean?
Tremendously, probably.
I mean, like, it would have altered the whole universe.
My goodness. Yeah, like probably a presidential election hangs in the balance.
I mean, yeah. Who knows how this is going to affect the election next year? We'll never know.
Let's get an AP poll about that. AP polling. Let's get some of those. Whoever else does polls for like election stuff. Let's just go. How did her being so non-selfish affect how you feel about voting Democrat or Republican?
I think that's a great poll that needs to be made.
We really need it. Javi had such a great episode this week. I want it to be like known that we respect his episode work this week because Fabio was like, hey, she was horny. You're overreacting, Javi, because he was like trying to call her out. And like in the rare case of Guy actually speaking on this television program, he stopped Fabio dead in his tracks. He's like, no, I don't care if she was horny. That is not an overreaction for him to react like that. She took his toothbrush allegedly in the shower, to potentially use as a vibrator allegedly. We
never saw any of this. So
no, we did not. No. It's all allegedly. And then Guy turns around and looks at her and goes, you're a dirty, dirty velociraptor. What a great fucking line. I want to make a t-shirt out of that.
You're don't expect these things.
Dirty velociraptor.
Oh.
You're not getting that on any other reality show.
And the greatest part is that one line, incredible. They didn't even use it as the title of the episode because this was a case for the FBI and everybody needed to know that.
He was so chill, like explaining all of it, like right when he got out there. I think he was in the hammock. He's like, So, and he explains it all, and they're going through, and he goes, "This is a case with the FBI." The fact that he knew the FBI was the thing that they should look into was just great. It's just like it's like he's got a staff of writers off to the side.
Yeah, they all are like that. Honestly, like you can't create these characters. It's just so good. And even at night, they wrap the party. Everybody's in bed. Obviously, Chase is going to bed early because he's no fun, and they decide to play a prank on him, which I hate the word prank, but whatever. They go and knock on the door and run back. I mean, obviously, it's them.
Who else would it be?
He freaks out, goes in there and yells at them, goes back into bed, and then they do it a second time. And the way this guy jumped out of that bed and went sprinting.
It just reminds me of like being in high school and fucking around with like your buddy's sister or something like that. You know, it's just, you're just living life, enjoying it.
Yeah. And you're also in a shore house.
Yeah. It makes me think that we're getting stuff like this on the challenge, and we're just getting completely different edits because they're choosing to edit it vastly differently.
I agree with you. I 100% agree with you.
We're doing basically the same stuff. There's money involved, but these people are just like, who gives a shit? We're having fun here, man.
Yeah, I mean, and also like Chase freaking out about it. I would get it in like a normal life situation. If like he had to catch a flight the next day, or even if like he has a big game the next day or whatever,
You're
sure.
right.
But you are in All-Star Shore. This is a shore house. When you're at a shore house, what's going to happen is this shit all the time.
Yeah.
So I don't feel bad for you. Get over it. Maybe have some fun, which he does do later in this episode. I was happy to see it. Maybe he was a dead body, but he was still at least out there. And that's what matters.
The thing is, like, if his argument is like, oh, well, we were laying in there and they were so loud, so I couldn't fall asleep anyway, then just get up and go lay out by the daybed by the pool or something like that. Where you
also, they're human beings. I feel like if he had been more fun and outgoing and done stuff, and that night decided to go to bed and goes, hey guys, you know, I totally understand if you want to hang out and have fun. If you could go do it in the kitchen area or just like kind of keep your voices down a bit. Like, I'm sure that they would respect that. But he's been a fucking sore loser and not fun. So I don't feel bad for him.
No, I don't either. He's a dirty velociraptor too.
He is a dirty velociraptor. The next day, this is going to shock everyone. Marnie and Guy choose Chase and Fabio to go into the exile game against Melinda and Javi.
Didn't see that coming.
I can't believe it. They really almost had me that there was going to be somebody else. Really thought that they were going to do that. We get to the elimination, and it kind of gave me challenge vibes.
Yeah.
Again, for those who are not watching, it was like a skee ball situation. But instead of like the pointed, the holes that have points, it was connected to the other skee ball situation, and they had to like poke holes through the design that had a paper in it. I'm doing a great job.
You are, but it's because I know what it looked like. Yeah.
Well, this is helping, right? These are the two.
For everybody
like
not watching on YouTube, she just like put her hands together as if she was praying.
Yes. They're two skee balls slammed up to each other with a pattern in the middle, and they have to throw the skee balls through the holes of the pattern.
Yeah, there was like 8 different slots where you could throw a skee ball through, and there's a little bit of paper, so you had to throw it through one of those. And like the first team to get
one by one.
Yeah, back and forth, left and right. Yes. Mm-hmm. And if you got it, the other team would get cream pied. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh,
they had something white.
I think it was milk.
I thought it was just
sunscreen.
Sunscreen. Yep.
Sunscreen.
Yeah, my bad.
I liked this elimination a lot. Honestly, this is more talent and skill involved than some of the stuff that we saw on Diet Challenge this year. So I was a fan. Did you like this elimination?
I think this is easily the most enthralled and on the edge of my seat that I've been for an exile. I think this entire season where I'm just like, who's going to do it? Now, I will state, at the beginning, it did not go well. The balls were not even getting close to where they needed to be. And I was like, oh, I can see just the comedy edit coming up here of like, we've been out here for 3 hours and only one team has got it.
Thank you for bringing up the time. How long do you think this took? Because it had to have taken a while.
This took a while.
I'm saying 3+ hours. Did you see Javi's first throw?
Guys, these first throws, many of throws.
We're assuming it's the first throw because it was the first throw we saw.
Horrific throws. They're going off left and right. Some are just like not getting anywhere. Some are going like 90 degrees up in the air. Some are like, it was just a really bad start, but it was hysterical. And that's what I want from these. Mm-hmm. I want it to be like, oh, they're going to be here forever. This is going to be great to watch and just see everybody at the top, like just starting to sit down and being like, oh, this is boring. You know?
Well, one of the tells for me that it took so fucking long is once I think the guys were the first ones to get it through. Their celebration, they celebrated so hard for the first one that I was like, this had to have been at least an hour.
Yeah. They celebrated as if they just won the national championship.
Yeah. And I mean, the way that they're throwing the balls and stuff, they have to get the balls back. I'm sure they stopped multiple times to get more balls. Like, it was just amazing. And then Spanky hits me.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Spanky hits me with one of the best lines ever after they make this celebration. He says, 2 boys kissing covered in white creamy stuff. Is this sexile or exile?
God, I love him. He's not wrong.
The man spits facts. Him and Fabio both. This amazing fucking statement. Loved it.
God, I loved it so much. They laughed all partied. They all got really excited. I think you saw the sunscreen like actually like turn like pasty at one point because they were sitting there in the sun with it on them for so long trying to get the ball that it like basically become their like skin at that point. You know, it become kind of like snake skin and started to peel off. Mm-hmm. I'm just sitting there going, yeah, they were there for a while. They were there for a while. They thought this would go a whole lot easier than it would, but the holes were rather small.
They made this pretty damn difficult compared to other stuff that they've had them do on All-Star Shore. At what point did you realize that Javi and Melinda were going to lose this? Because I caught it pretty early on.
I'm going to say that you're the winner here because I did not get it. I did not get it. Although I do feel like there was something that I thought about like when they were getting interviewed.
Yes.
Was that what you're thinking of? Okay.
Yes, because they have like when they are getting ready to go and you could see both the teams in their interviews clean, not covered in sunscreen or whatever, saying they're excited, this is their strategy, whatever, blah, 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 blah. And then I hear audio of Melinda and Spanky, but I never see them covered in sunscreen in an interview. I only see Chase and Fabio covered in sunscreen in their interview. And I don't want to go to the corner, but I feel very confident in the conspiracy. I think that Melinda had a full-blown freak out once they lost this game because she was the only one to score. I think she freaked the fuck out on Javi, possibly on production, saying that it was unfair. And they forced her to stand there because there was one clip of them and she's just standing there with her arms crossed. She doesn't say a word.
That's what I saw. I saw her standing there with her arms crossed. I go, that doesn't look like somebody that's happy that they won this.
She couldn't even fake it. The best actress in the show, according to her, is unable to fake having some sort of happiness. I mean, she just stood there with her arms crossed the whole time. I feel like she freaked the fuck out on production.
Well, I think she realized her chance at the money was gone there.
Yes.
And she was like, I got a partner who can't do anything. I feel like I got screwed because my partner was Chase. We'd be winning right now. Everything would be fine, but we had to have this like team switch. By the way, Melinda, I think you thought that was going to be the best thing in the world, right?
Yeah, I
think
believe
you were
that is
like
what she
super
said.
happy. You were like, oh, all the other teams are fucked now, right? Something like that.
I think that is what she was saying.
I think that was. And you know
Weird.
what? I don't feel bad. I didn't feel bad.
I didn't either.
1 week after like her celebrating like she had just won the Olympic Games, now she's in exile. It's great. That's all Star Show for you.
Is life sweet? That whole thing was amazing. Now, something did happen before Javi and Melinda left for their exile that I wanted to touch on.
Okay.
Do you remember, I feel like it was 2 episodes ago, it might have been 1, when Guy and Chantel got into a fight because Chantel kissed Javi goodbye or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, good night. Yeah. And he kept wanting more kisses. Yes.
She kisses him goodbye when he leaves for exile. So did that whole fight not happen?
No.
Did that fight happen later and they put it in at the point they did? Did Guy just kind of be like, whatever, I don't care anymore? I'm so curious because they never wrapped a bow on that whole fight. And all of a sudden she's kissing Javi again.
I think that she says I kiss him goodnight like I kiss a friend. That's no big deal. And I think to Guy that was uncommon. So I think she basically put him in his place and be like, I'm gonna do this. This is what I do. Don't fucking it can't bother you.
Probably, but if you're going to cliffhanger me on an episode with these two fighting about this exactly, and then show me it happen later with no end to the cliffhanger that you had done previously. All-Star Shore, I love you, but come on.
It's what it is, though. This is what we haven't had to mention this for a few weeks.
Tie a bow.
We haven't had to mention this for a few weeks, so they've been really good. We can't fault All-Star Shore for things that would happen on other shows where we get a bow tied. This is not what they do, okay?
I understand.
They're not a bow tire,
but
okay?
they're choosing to show me her kissing him, and that's exactly what they fought about that we never talked about again. It hit me in a place where I just need to know what happened. The society deserves to know. The fans want to know. Everybody's up in arms about it, okay? Everybody. I talked to everybody.
For the record, I don't care, but Mixie cares, so somebody let her know.
I need to know. We're going to finish off with the people that go to exile, and then we'll talk about the final party that we see in this episode.
Yes, please.
Javi and Melinda are sent to a barge. Is that the correct terminology? Are we going to play this game where we figure out what's the difference between a barge and a
pier?
And a pier? I couldn't remember the word.
I don't know what it was, so I'm not going to say it was one versus the other. I think a barge is like fully submerged in the water and it's floating, yeah. And a pier like jets out from the land. So a barge is like, I believe, fully in the water.
A pier could be a barge, but a barge couldn't be a pier.
Say that again?
I think what we're saying is that a pier can be a barge.
No, I don't think
so. But a barge can't be a pier.
I think they're both.
You could fully submerge a pier and still have it jet from the land. No?
I mean, maybe. I don't know.
Are we not in the mood to argue about piers and barges? That's fine. We can move on.
I don't have enough information about piers and barges where I would feel confident making an argument, because then I look like a fool that I'm just like always picking against you when clearly sometimes you're in the ocean or you're in the sea and
you would have no idea which one you're in. Maybe, but when you're on a pier, you would know you're on a pier, and when you're on a barge, you know you're on a barge.
Here's another thing.
I don't know though, because
the better argument is a pier versus a dock.
Oh, we didn't even bring a dock into this.
Then they were on a pier.
Do we need to take a pause and figure out what the difference is between a barge, a pier, and a dock? I'm sure that there is a specialist listening to this right now, and they'll be able to let us know.
Please join us in the hotties. Link in the description. Become a hottie. Message us. Let us know the difference between them. I'm pretty like a barge. I think barge is vastly different than a pier. A barge is like out floating in the water. It's just out there by itself.
How do you get to it?
You like pull up alongside it in a boat.
You're not taking a dinghy to a barge.
You can take anything to a barge. It doesn't have to be a dinghy. Take whatever you want.
Well, you're gonna go canoe over to the barge?
You could. Do I have to get on the barge?
I'm scared to touch my laptop because my mic might get unplugged. But man, do I want to Google this.
What would you like me to Google? I'll do it for you.
What's the difference between a pier and a dock?
Well, this is a different one now.
And then I want to know where a barge comes in. Then I want the definition of a barge.
How about this one? How about the definition between a pier, a dock, and a wharf?
What the fuck is a wharf? Sounds like wharf. It's a dog.
You had wharfs in New York City. In general, we Americans view piers and docks as the same thing. Yet many professional seafarers,
I knew they existed,
see things differently. To them, a dock is where you tie up boats. Great point. While a pier is a transitional structure between water and land. Great point. In other words...
So then a pier is a bridge.
Yes. Have you not been on the Santa Monica Pier? It's a bridge. It's a bridge over water.
That is a bridge connects two pieces of land. The Santa Monica Pier ends at the sea ocean, because I don't know which one it is. But it ends. It doesn't connect to a different land. That's not a bridge.
I think a car bridge does that, but I don't think they all like connect further out.
Steven, you cannot tell me.
Okay, hold on. The last part of this is, in other words, a dock is like a parking lot, while a pier is like a sidewalk. I think that was very well done. That comes from vdoc.com.
Okay. But the way that they described a pier is a bridge, and that's not what a pier is.
Why are we going down this road? Has this ever ended well for us? For you?
I feel confident in fighting this fight right now because bridges connect two pieces of land.
Bridge goes over something. I think that's the idea of what it is. A bridge goes over something. And the pier is a bridge over the water. What else would it be?
To what?
We were doing so well today. We were doing so well.
People are going to be on my side again on this, just like they were on the sea and ocean thing. No one agreed with you or science. Everyone agreed with me.
I think a lot of people agreed with me.
A bridge connects two things,
and
I will die on that.
Ran out of the gym last week with the bug in the drink thing live as we were recording.
There's no proof of that, and
I'll pull up the poll.
No, there's no.
There's a whole thing about a bridge to nowhere. Okay,
but then it's not a bridge. A bridge connects two things.
Okay.
What is the definition of a bridge?
Oh my goodness.
We don't even have to keep this in. I just need to know.
A structure spanning and providing a passage over a river, chasm, road, or the like.
But a passage, now we're getting into...
No. A structure spanning and providing passage over a river.
So you're going to sit here and tell me...
A connecting transitional intermediate route or phase between two adjacent elements.
Connecting! Anyways, Javi and...
I don't know what people just heard. Maybe they got all that, maybe they didn't. Who knows?
Javi and Melinda are on some sort of thing that is jetting from the land and goes over water.
I forgot how we even got onto this. If we were trying to figure out if it was fucking wharf, a pier, or whatever.
We didn't even get into the wharf of it all.
We didn't get into a barge. We didn't even look up what a barge was. Lord.
Anyways, it's covered in trash. And Javi's dry heaving. They have to put together a key.
Yes.
With pieces of paper that are in trash.
Great idea.
Do you think that actually existed? Do you think they actually had all of the pieces on that pier, barge, bridge, dock?
I feel like I want to say they did. I want to say they did. I would also like to think that they also had no chance at this.
Oh, yeah, no chance.
Because so they got to dig around, and the reward for digging around was like a really nice bed that nobody else has been able to get this entire time in exile. I feel like that's part of what exile is, right? It's like you have this hope. Oh, I can get these drinks. Oh, I can get this bed, but you're never going to get it.
Yeah.
Like it's just it's an exile. It's an exercise in futility. And I think they kind of figured that out as they were going. And she's just started pulling the stuff through the thing, which great ingenuity. Really well done.
I will give her credit. Pulling the blankets through the cage was genius.
Yeah, I don't think there was at any point they had it. Now, they could have also solved the puzzle. Like the thing, which I would have sat at for hours trying to figure it out, but I'm not good at those. My
whole thought on that was they immediately went to the puzzle and started to try to undo it. If they had found the key, wouldn't the starting point have been wrong because they were trying to undo it and they like did a couple things?
Yes.
So then it didn't 100%. Matter if they got the key.
Well, you could get it maybe back to where it was at, but yeah, right. That I thought about the exact same thing. I was like, if you get this to a point where you've like actually made it even harder, you've gone back a few steps. That would suck. That would suck even more. Yeah.
That was Exile.
Hysterical. Loved it so much.
Great. Well done. Very good Exile. I'm sure we'll check in with them next episode. Before we leave, we have the Brazilian Carnival. Now, I did enjoy this, but it wasn't my favorite theme of the year. I just wish they had told us a bit more about like what happens at Brazilian carnivals or like something along those lines. It just was kind of like
Carnival.
It was just kind of thrown out as a theme and not really discussed in depth. I just, I like to learn.
You wanted like a book report? What were you looking for?
I was looking for an explanation of a pier and a bridge because I'm sure that's discussed.
And a wharf and a barge, which is just a floating boat, basically. Yeah,
a floating bridge because it might be connecting two things. We'll never know. Anyways,
barge doesn't connect things.
Chase had some fun at this. That was great to see.
Very surprised.
It didn't last long, but
no,
he did have some fun. They did talk about wanting the bragging rights of winning the show over the money. It seems like a good amount of them just wanted the bragging rights. I'm just shocked by this information. I guess these people make enough money, pouring themselves out on Instagram and shit that like they don't need it.
I think a few of them were like, yeah, it'd be nice to like say that, but also I feel like you kind of need to say that, right? Because you don't know how much everybody else is making. So you're like, yeah, like I just like to win. How much you making? You make that on your show? Oh shit. Yeah, this would be life-changing money for me. Fuck. Hold on. Are you guys looking for people on your version? Can I move over there? Will they take me? Oh, great. Yeah. Okay, I'll see you over there.
Yeah. It was just a little interesting to me how honest they were being, I guess. I would have expected them to want the outside world to think that they really wanted the money and that they needed the money and all this stuff just to kind of like...
I think it's some reverse psychology. I think they all really want the money, but they're like, I don't want to just say I'm here for the money. I want to be like, oh yeah, I'd love to win. I'd love to be a champion. Yeah. Because I can't really say I'm here for the cash, and I'm clearly here for the cash.
Yeah, I could see
Our
that.
Our girl
too.
Chantel's always like, this changed my kid's life. She's not all of a sudden going to be like, oh yeah, it'd be great, I guess, to win $125,000. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. Can I put that amount in a bank? Do I get that in a check? Is that like a wiring situation? What do we do with this?
Yeah.
Do you like come with duffel bags to the bank?
That would be awesome if that was the way that they did it. That would be awesome.
That would be the only way I'd want to take my weddings. I'm like, sorry, I don't do direct deposit. I just take duffel bags at my bank.
We end the episode with Hati giving Chase a lap dance, and being blacked out and screaming at Chantel while simultaneously saying, "Oh, you're drunk. You got a mouth on you," or something like that. Like, girl, you're the drunk one. But okay, I love you, Hati, but a bit of an overreaction. I think she was just trying to, have some fun. You were rejected by Chase very early on. You can't expect him all of a sudden to be interested. And it's nothing against you. He's a fucking idiot. But Chantel does end by saying he's laying there like a dead body, and Hati freaks out about that. I mean, I guess I get it, but it's just kind of like, we're having fun. He is laying there like a dead body.
I don't feel like she needed to say that.
She didn't need to broadcast it. I can agree that was unnecessary. But it was funny. We have to know
our girl doesn't have a filter on her. Like, if she's thinking it, she's saying it. And that's what makes her great on television.
It was a good classic little battle here at the end of the episode.
Yeah.
And that's where they left us. And we have 2 more episodes left of All-Star Shore. And Steven, I believe you told me that they're airing them back to back.
I do have some information. Yes, the final 2 episodes, so episode 11 and 12, will be airing next week, which I believe is the 7th, if I've gotten my days right here.
That sounds right.
7th, yes. So December 7th, the last 2 episodes will be airing of All-Star Shore, so we will have a special 2-episode recap there for you coming up at the end of All-Star Shore. Sad to see it go. This will be 12 episodes. Last year we got 10. I'm loving the extra 2. That's great. Fine and dandy. Love to see how this plays out. But yes, be sure you're watching. Set the DVR if you DVR the show for like an extra time frame.
Yes. You do not want to miss it.
Jersey Shore finishes, I think, this week. I think they're having a reunion right now or something like that.
Oh, okay. That would make sense. Yeah, just make sure you're getting that recording in, because we will be recapping both next episode. And as Steven says, we hate to see All-Star Shore go, but they do have great asses, so we love to watch it leave. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't. Leave an Apple review. We haven't really gotten many of those, and we would really appreciate that. It helps us out a lot. We love you guys. We will check in for the final. And I hope you guys are having a great holiday season.
The shore down. The shore
down. Woo! We love it. Love you guys. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye-bye, everybody. We love you.